ונרשת ונחדת מפחד יושב תהילות ישראל באתי לעמוד ולחנין לפניך על עמך ישראל אשר שלחוני ואף על פי שאיני חטאית והגון לך על כן נבקשך אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב אלוהי שרה אלוהי רבקה אלוהי רחל ואלוהי Adonai, Adonai, Rachum, V'chanun, Elohim, Shaddai, Ayom, V'nora, אשר אנוכי הולכת לעמוד לבקש רחמים לבקש רחמים עליי
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Bruchim Habayim, welcome everybody. I cannot tell you how good it is to see your faces. Isn't it so nice?
It's kind of amazing.
It's been 3 years.
3 years.
Are you crying?
I'm not crying right now, no. Not right now.
There will be tears at some point, I'm sure, because we are so happy to be together as we celebrate the beginning of our new year. As you know, we will be having slides available on the wall. There's also machzorim that you might have borrowed from the temple, or if you had the opportunity to download the slides beforehand on your own personal device, you can follow along there as well. We're going to begin on page 5. You're going to have to skip through Hineni a little bit there, guys. There you go. Your book of life doesn't begin today on Rosh Hashanah. It began when you were born. Some of the chapters were written by other people, your parents, siblings, and teachers. Parts of your book were crafted out of experiences you had because of other people's decisions, where you lived, what schools you went to, what your homes were like. But the message of Rosh Hashanah, the anniversary of the creation of the world, is that everything can be made new again, that much of your book is written every day by the choices you make. The book is not written and sealed. You get to edit it, decide what parts you want to emphasize, and remember, and maybe even which parts you want to leave behind. Shana Tova means both a good year and a good change. Today you can change the rest of your life. It is never too late. As you may or may not have realized, today is in fact Sunday. It is not Shabbat. So as we are reading through our sacred words this evening and tomorrow, we will not be reading the blue parts. Those are for when the holiday falls on Shabbat. So ignore the blue. And with that, I'd like to invite forward Sarah Holland and her daughter Edith. Sarah is our president-elect, which means she will officially take the throne in June, at the end of June, right, Lori? They are going to come forward and light our holiday candles for us this evening. I invite those who are able to please rise.
There's a little bit of AC.
They're not used to having candles here.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Yom Tov.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Yom Tov.
We'll remain standing as we continue now with our holiday Kiddush, as we sanctify this day with Manischewitz.
Baruch atah Adonai, Baruchu Baruch Shemo, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hakafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'am, v'romamanu mikol hashon, v'kiddishanu b'mitzvotav. V'titein lanu Adonai Eloheinu b'ahava, et yom hazikaron hazeh, yom teruah mikra kodesh, zecher yetziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'charta, ve'otanu kiddashta mikol ha'amim, u'devar ha'emet v'kayam lahad. Baruch atah Adonai, melech hakol haaretz, mekadesh Yisrael v'yom hazikaron. Baruch atah Adonai, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגענו לזמן הזה.
L'chaim indeed. Please be seated. We'll continue on page 12. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. Together, this is the season of the soul, a time to rejoice, a time to reflect, a time to return, a time to gather round the table with loved ones and friends, a time for song and silence, for prayer and confession to open the heart, a time to retreat to our sanctuaries within, a time to renew the life and spirit of our community. Continuing together, this is the season of attentiveness, a time to notice what has unfolded and what has not, a time to regret, a time to forgive, a time to remember cherished dreams and high ideals erased by reality. This is the season of hope. Like mist rising at sunset, like dew descending at dawn, our hopes beautify and nourish everything they touch. Our hopes make us partners in creation, pursuers of peace, people who aspire to a world of justice. This is the season of awe. When our eyes behold it, may we feel blessed. When we turn toward each other, let us feel strength. When we seek the holy, may we find purpose. May we find courage. May we find love. On page 15. At the new moon, at the full moon, for our feast day, sound the shofar, for that is the law of Israel, the way of the God of Jacob.
בכסל יום חגינו כי חוק לישראל הוא משפט לאלוהי יעקב.
There will be many moments during our service where you will be invited to stand. Please know that this is for those who would like to, for those who are able to, and if you are not able to stand, know that we know you are doing such in spirit. So as we turn now to the announcement of the new year on page 19, I once again invite those who are able to please rise. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, yehi ratzon shenizkeh levirchotecha, bishnat chameshet alafim sheva me'ot shmonim v'shalosh. Elohei olam barech otanu, ve'et kol beit Yisrael, v'chidush yameinu, v'simcha u'v'shalom, v'nechema u'v'ometz lev, v'chilutz atzamot u'v'ruach etana. Yehi pri sifatenu mikubal veratzui milfanecha, bifros hashanat hachadasha, la'ad modim anachnu lach, al matanat hachayim. Our God and God of our ancestors, may we know your blessings in the year 5783. Eternal One, bless us and the whole house of Israel, with renewed life, happiness and peace, comfort and courage, resilience and strength. May the words of our heart be acceptable to you in the new year that stretches before us. We are forever grateful for the gift of life. We remain standing as we turn to page 22 for Ma'ariv Aravim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim, bechochma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, B'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Uma'avir yom umevi layla, uma'avdil bein yom uvein layla, Adonai tzivaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. We'll read together on page 24. Love beyond all time, your love unfolds your people Yisrael. We receive it in your teaching, your gift of Torah, sacred obligations, discipline, and law. So let us speak these teachings when we lie down and rise up and find joy forever in your Torah and mitzvot. They are the very essence of our life, ours to ponder and study all our days. May we never lose or be unworthy of your love. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Please be seated. As we move now to Ve'ahavta on page 28.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi Tavecha hayom alvavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta b'ham v'shivtecha b'veitecha v'velachtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam lehot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'yisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Together on page 32. Truth and faith, these are fundamental to our existence. God alone is their source, and we are Israel, a people of God. Our sovereign saves us from tyranny, redeems us from its violence through countless wonders, from its brutality through great feats beyond measure. We are Israel, a people of God, the giver of life, who would not let our feet give way, the maker of miracles for us against Pharaoh, of signs and portents in the land of Egypt, the one who brought our people Israel from its midst to enduring freedom. On the next page, you have stayed long enough in this place, God said. Time to go forward. Turn your face to the future. Believe that you can cross this sea and survive. Inside you is a Moses. Within you Miriam dances, unafraid. Lift up your voice and sing a new song.
Adonai et Yaakov ugalo miad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Gahal Yisrael.
Page 36. Reading together. Bless our sleep with peace, Adonai, and awaken us to life when we rise. With power sublime, spread over us your shelter of shalom, and through your wisdom restore us, make us whole. Let your name proclaim your presence in our lives. Be our shield. Make us stronger than the enemies we face, illness and war, famine and sorrow, and stronger than the enemies in our hearts, wickedness and sin. Carry us to safety as on wings, for you are the monarch of grace, the sovereign of compassion. You are the one who cares for us and sets us free. Watch over us, we who go forth to life. Watch over us, that we may come home in peace, now until the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We'll move now to Chatzi Kaddish on page 40 as we move now into the next section of our service.
יתקטל ויתקדש מרבה ועמד דברי חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחיי חון וביומי חון ובחיי תכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב בהימלך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי קודשה בריחו להילה, מן כל ברכתה ושירתה.
Continue with Amidah on page 42. Those who are able, please rise.
Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'il Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Gula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo b'Yahava. Zochenu l'chaim, melech ha'aretz v'chaim, l'chotenu b'sefer ha'chaim, l'ma'ancha Elohim chaim, l'chotenu b'sefer ha'chaim, l'ma'ancha Elohim chaim. Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Amen. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia. Mechakil chaim b'chesed, Mechayei hakol b'rachamim rabim, Samech noflim v'rafichu זוכה צורף לחיים מרחמים, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
Please be seated. We move forward now to page 54. In your love, eternal our God, you have given us this day of remembrance, a day for the shofar's joyful sound, a day of sacred assembly, a day to be mindful of our people's going out from Egypt. Our God and God of the generations before us, may a memory of us ascend and come before you. May it be heard and seen by you, winning your favor and reaching your awareness, together with the memory of our ancestors, the memory of your sacred city, Jerusalem, and the memory of your people, the family of Israel. May we be remembered for safety, well-being, and favor, for love and compassion, for life and for peace on this day of remembrance. On page 55, Zochrenu Adonai Eloheinu bo l'tovah, ufogdenu vo livracha, v'hoshienu vo l'chaim. Eternal our God, remember us.
Amen.
Be mindful of us.
Amen.
And redeem us for a life of goodness and blessing.
Amen.
Favor us with words of deliverance and mercy. Show us the depth of your care. God, we await your redemption, for you reign with grace and compassion.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu b'Amecha Yisrael u'tefilatam be'ahava tikabel u'tehi leratzon tamid avodat Yisrael. Yisrael Amecha il karov lechol korehav pinei lavatecha v'chonenu shuvu ruchacha aleinu ותחזינה עינינו נשוב לך לציון.
take a few moments now for our own silent prayers.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki atahu melech hador lechol hashalom. Sefer Chaim Rachav Shalom. Mirachav Shalom. Mizachim nikatev lefanecha. Anachnu v'chol amcha beit Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, oseh hashalom.
As we always do at this point in our tefillah, in our prayer, we set aside some time to turn our prayers and our thoughts to members of our extended temple family who are ill, and we pray together that they might find a refuah shlema, a complete healing of body and spirit. And this evening, in particular, in the words to come, we also think of all of those who care for them and who love them. So I'll invite you on the page that is in front of you, or page 72, to join together as a community in a prayer for those who are ill and for givers of care. Let's join together. May the Eternal One, who blesses all life, bless and strengthen all of us who struggle against illness. May we, whose lives are touched by illness, be blessed with faith, courage, love, and caring. May we experience the support and sustenance of family, friends, companions, and community. May we be granted restful nights and days of comfort. We pray for refuah shlema, precious moments of healing, and a sense of wholeness of body and soul. May those who care for the sick, with their hands, their voices, and their hearts, be blessed with courage and stamina. May those who pursue healing through medical skill and knowledge be blessed with insight, patience, and compassion. May all of us, the sick and the well together, find courage and hope, and let us say, Amen. As we continue with Avinu Malkeinu, I would invite those who are able to please rise. Avinu Malkeinu, strong was the faith of generations before us. In exile, they proclaimed enduring hope. In the shadow of persecution, they affirmed a transcendent love and compassion. Ours is a different age, less confident and certain, more tentative in its trust. There are many who say to the works of their hands, "You are our gods." But when our worship centers on our own creations, we feel less gratitude, more doubt and despair. This is the paradox of our spiritual lives. We grow smaller in self-exaltation, nobler when we reach for you. On this night of return, let us find the humility to come close to you and open ourselves to your presence. For you are absent only when we fail to make room for you in our hearts, distant only when we turn away from you. Now, as others have done before us, let us overcome doubt and speak these words of affirmation together. We call you Avinu. As a loving parent, forgive our wrongs and failings, accept us in our human frailty. We call you Malkeinu, sovereign of our souls. Help us rise from our brokenness to build a world of shalom. To this vision, we offer ourselves anew.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Chomo aleinu, ve'al
Yontif, everybody. Friends, from time to time, on a Shabbat morning, before the service starts, I will notice that the boy or girl who is being called to the Torah as a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah that morning has a major case of spielkus. Spielkus is Yiddish for the heebie-jeebies. In such a case, I'll reassure them that if they forget a piece of the Torah chant, or if they ask the congregation to please rise too soon, the eternal light is not going to fall from the ceiling and injure the cantorial soloist. Nor is anybody going to be struck by lightning. You just be yourself up there, I'll say. And if something's not exactly right, just let go of it and move on. Besides, I'll say, I'm a rabbi, and I've been reading from the Torah and leading services for years and years, and I make lots of mistakes. That last statement is the absolute truth. In my 37th year in the rabbinate, I can now envision a spreadsheet cataloging the errors that I have made over the years as a shaliach tzibur, which means the person leading the community in prayer. I'd put tabs in the spreadsheet. Each tab would catalog a different variety of blunder. A tab for wedding bloopers. Now all the upcoming weddings I'm doing, they're panicking. A tag for wedding bloopers, a tab for blanking out on the correct melody for the Shabbat morning Reader's Kaddish, a tab for preparing a sermon on the wrong Torah portion that week, a tab for skipping a page and leaving out the Aleinu, and so forth and so on. That said, the service leading snafu that I'm going to tell you about tonight is one for the record books. It is sui generis, it is a thing unto itself. It happened back around 1986 or 1987. I was the recently ordained assistant rabbi at Temple Bethel in Great Neck, New York, a heavily Jewish suburb on the North Shore of Long Island. In those days, Bethel was the largest synagogue on Long Island, about twice the number of households that Congregation Beth Israel has now. It was founded in 1928, and as the decades went on, it came to include a significant population of refugees from the Holocaust. The main sanctuary had a gigantic pipe organ, an ark wall designed by the famous Jewish sculptor Louise Nevelson, a towering ark that held 8 Torah scrolls, 4 on the bottom and 4 on the top, and a very large, expansive bima. The word imposing comes to mind. Back then, in the mid-1980s, Temple Bethel was still holding to the style of what used to be called classical Reform Judaism. Services were formal, polished, carefully planned, and precisely executed. During the High Holy Days, several collapsible walls to the sanctuary were open so that the main sanctuary extended into a couple of very large social hall spaces packed with rows and rows of chairs for the overflow holiday crowds. Standing on the bima that Rosh Hashanah morning in 1986 or 1987, I looked out over a sea of 2,400 faces. Having very carefully annotated my copy of the maroon Gates of Repentance prayer book for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, with scribbles indicating where the choir would be singing and where the cantor would be offering her solos, I wished everyone a Shana Tova, and I launched headlong into the service. Now, fairly quickly, I became a little bit puzzled because, from the get-go, the pieces that the choir was singing didn't match the ones that I had penciled into my machzor, which is the proper name for the High Holy Day prayer book. Figuring that some last-minute musical changes might have been made, I forged ahead. We quickly reached the bottom of page 293. I went back to the book and looked. The bottom of page 293, where I read the following words: "Inscribe us for blessing in the book of life." I turned my page, and I heard the rustling sound of all those thousands of people turning their pages at the same time. And I read at the top of the next page, page 294, "This is the day of our atonement." I blanched. It was Rosh Hashanah morning, but I was reading the service for Yom Kippur. That's why the music was wrong. I had somehow spaced out on the day of judgment. I had led people in praying the wrong service. The congregation very quickly figured out what was going on. And when they did, I heard a sound more stirring and fearsome than the Tekiah Gedolah of the shofar itself. It was the sound of 2,400 Jews gasping. You know what it's like when you start to blush and you can't stop it, and you feel the heat rising from your torso through your chest, then up your neck until it lights up your face? That was me. I stood there in my white High Holy Day robe. By the way, the same one. These robes were well made. I stood there in my white High Holy Day robe, frozen, not sure what to do. I felt incompetent and foolish. It was then that I sensed that someone was approaching me from behind. Was it the chairman of the recently reactivated Rabbinic Search Committee? No. It was my supervisor, my mentor, my senior rabbi, Jerome K. Davidson. Jerry put his hand on my shoulder, and in front of those 2,400 people, he leaned over slightly and spoke the following two words into my ear: "Start again." And, embarrassment be damned, that's what I did. I've retold that story time to time since coming to Congregation Beth Israel, mainly for comic effect. Last week, I told it once again at our weekly Wednesday afternoon meditation service. But for some reason, for the first time, it struck me this year that the two words that Rabbi Davidson whispered into my ear, "start again," had a much deeper meaning than what I had ever grasped at the time, and even in all those other times of retelling the story. Start again, according to Jewish tradition, is precisely what God whispers to us at this time of year. Start again is the essential message of these 10 days from tonight through Yom Kippur. Start again. Consider how different Erev Rosh Hashanah is from the secular New Year's Eve. We Jews do not greet our New Year with partying and revelry. It's not that we have anything against partying and revelry, it's just that we save it for Purim. Instead, as our ancestors have done for millennia, tonight, along with Jews all over the globe, we greet the Jewish New Year by gathering just like this, and by speaking words and singing prayers to remind each other that things can be better, that we can be better in the coming year, if we heed the call of those two simple words, start again. We deliberately sit with the uncomfortable truth that our time on this earth is not unlimited, and we read the chilling medieval poem about who shall live and who shall die. This contemplation of our fragility punctuates the words "start again" with an exclamation point. We have a word for the need to start again. The Hebrew word is teshuvah. Teshuvah literally means turning around. It means that change is possible if we are willing to do the work of change. We can turn away from maintaining those exhausting resentments and those worn-out old grudges, and we can turn toward reconciliation and forgiveness. We can turn away from old stale habits toward the freedom of making intentional, thoughtful choices. We can turn away from apathy and inaction and turn toward personal acts of service in the causes of tzedek, rachamim, and shalom, justice, compassion, and peace for our world. In a beautiful passage from that genre of ancient Jewish fan fiction that we call Midrash, our sages say something audacious about starting again and doing teshuvah. They declare that teshuvah, our capacity to renew ourselves through starting again and making a turn, teshuvah, they say, was one of a handful of things that God created before the creation of the universe. That is, the world exists for the sake of making mistakes, screwing up, owning up to it, and fixing the damage that we have done the best we can, and then starting again. That is why we're here. Rabbi Jill Zimmerman says, how extraordinary is that ability to make teshuvah built into the very structure of creation? We all make mistakes. We forget our commitments, lose our connection with God, forget our best selves. We lose sight of our purpose and our values. Sometimes we harm those we care about, and sometimes we hurt ourselves. As we stand together in the synagogue and collectively recite our misdeeds, too many of them ring true. But she says, in the light of this reckoning, Jewish tradition proclaims that there is a way to repair what is out of order. We have a generations-old process of making amends and coming back to center. In fact, throughout the High Holy Day liturgy, the loving, compassionate source of all beckons us to return to our own souls, to each other, and to God. And they say in this beautiful language that as soon as we take a step toward God, God takes a step toward us. Okay, but all that said, starting again is not easy. Of course, if it were easy, we wouldn't have created a 10-day holiday season from now until Yom Kippur devoted to doing it. The realization that now, for me, on this first day of 5,783, I'm still working on a lot of the same stuff I was working on back in 5773, that can elicit a paralyzing sense of hopelessness or shame. Here we are, knowing we still want and need to be better at speaking our mind or thinking twice before we speak, to be better at reaching out to others when we're in a crisis or recognizing when we are projecting our own issues onto someone else. Really? Start again? How demoralizing. Yes, says the tradition, start again, but don't start in shame. Starting again, Judaism tells us, is hope. Starting again is waking up. Starting again, making amends, saying I'm sorry, forgiving someone else, that is built into the fabric of the universe that was created before creation itself. In fact, one of our prayer book's lesser-known names for God is the one who renews the work of creation at every instant. God is the source of fresh starts, and we, created B'Tselem Elohim in the image of God, you and I are the living manifestations and embodiment of that constant renewal. Think about it. Sense the continual renewal in the beating of your heart, in the pulsing of your blood, in the cleansing that flows to every cell of your body through your breathing, and of the promptings of your soul to live a life of meaning, a life that matters, a life that blesses others, and that blesses you. Start again, not in shame, not in frustration, not in embarrassment, but start again in gratitude, in wonder and awe. Start again, not with the resignation of being back at square one, because according to our tradition, you are never back at square one. In the wisdom of the rabbis, we are taught that someone who commits a sin, a wrongdoing, and does teshuvah, does their best to fix it, stands at a loftier spiritual level than someone who has never screwed up, than that theoretical perfect person who does not exist. The person who does wrong and fixes it has grown stronger, they have grown wiser, and their soul has expanded. Teshuvah, facing the damage or hurt we may have caused and acting to make it better, was created by God, they say, before the world was born. Teshuvah, starting again, is not shameful, it is beautiful, it is miraculous, and it is why we are here. My God, we pray every morning, the soul that you have placed within me is pure. Starting again is rooted in self-compassion, and change, paradoxically, always begins with self-acceptance. I think we encounter these Rosh Hashanah truths with a greater need and urgency this new year than many years in the past, because many of us are very tired. Some of us came down with COVID-19, and although we have survived it and recovered after a fashion, we may still find ourselves deeply shaken, both physically and spiritually, by that experience. And even if we have been lucky enough and blessed enough to avoid contracting the virus, the disorientation of lockdown, the tedium of Zoom school, the sadness around aging relatives whom we could not visit, and events both happy and sad that we were unable to attend because of the pandemic, I think that has left many of us with a kind of wobbly sense of time and place. What's normal? What's safe? And why are we so easily overwhelmed? And for us at CBI, the pandemic turned out to be part of a 1-2 punch. Last October, just as the Delta variant was subsiding, just as we were scheduled to return to in-person Shabbat services, the unthinkable happened. An 18-year-old college kid a freshman at Texas State, steeped in the poison of white supremacy and anti-Semitism, snuck onto our campus, sloshed some kind of flammable liquid all over the front of our sanctuary, and set it on fire. The grainy indoor security camera footage of that moment is chilling. First there is darkness, then a flash of light as the burning liquid seeps under the wooden sanctuary doors, and then the inside of the doors are quickly engulfed in tendrils of flame. In the aftermath of the arson, as we reviewed what had happened, as we debriefed, as we met with therapists from APD's Victim Services and from Jewish Family Service, attendees at these sessions, both staff members and volunteer leaders, both Jews and non-Jews alike, spoke of their feelings, and many of us wept openly as we processed the emotions that were finally coming to the surface. It was necessary, it was loving, and it was exhausting. Letting the tears come, though, feeling suppressed emotion is also part of starting again. Sometimes what you need is to sit down and have a good cry. And so is remembering not only the outpouring of moral and financial support that came our way in the aftermath of the arson from all over the world, literally all over the world, it's also important to remember and to acknowledge that we are in this beautiful sanctuary this evening because of the sympathy, solidarity, and goodwill of St. Matthew's and its community. And on this extraordinary Rosh Hashanah Eve, might I suggest that it would be entirely appropriate to show our appreciation for the people of St. Matthew's with our applause. So one day when the time is right, when all of the research is done and all that we need to know to mend our sanctuary is known, we will roll up our sleeves and we will start again, fixing, rebuilding, redeeming, and healing. In starting again, we will come together to rebuild and renew not only a building, but our community. This too will be a form of teshuvah. In closing tonight, it does occur to me that I neglected to tell you what happened after Rabbi Davidson walked up behind me on that Rosh Hashanah morning so long ago and so far away and said, "Start again." It may have been worse. He may have said, "Steve, start again." So I'll tell you what happened. The microphone on the lectern picked up his voice. The assembled masses heard him say, "Start again." You know what happened? A ripple of laughter moved through that gigantic sanctuary. I fumbled my way back to page 163. I took a deep breath, and we started again. We started again. In that spirit, may this be for all of us a year of healing and renewal and hope. Healing, renewal, and hope for you, for everyone you love, for the Jewish people, and for all who suffer and struggle, desperate for renewal, wherever they may be. And together we say, Amen. Shana Tova to everyone. So, we are going to continue now with our closing prayers, beginning with Aleinu. It is on page 83 or on the slide. If you're able, you're invited to rise as we open the ark.
עלינו לשבח אדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא עשנו לשומרי האדמה, והוא שמנו לשליחי התורה, שהוא שם חיינו איתם, וגור ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים
Continuing on page 89. Our thoughts turn to loved ones whom death has taken from us in recent days and those who died at this season in years past. Our hearts open as well to the wider circles of loss in our community and wherever grief touches the human family. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing in this new year and always. As we join in the words of Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish, on page 90, we remember that the Kaddish itself does not speak of death or grief or loss. It praises the source of all that we have and all that exists and looks forward to a time of peace for us and for all the world. Again, if you're able, we invite you to rise for Kaddish Yatom. Page 90. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, v'yalma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach la'olam v'la'omei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnasei v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabba min Shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. Please be seated. Friends, as we move into some brief announcements, we want to take a moment first to say how thrilled we are to have Jake Cohen, our new executive director at Congregation Beth Israel, and with us. Jake is here somewhere.
There he is.
Yay, Jake. Welcome, Jake. Yay. After services, the entire temple staff will be having a roundtable on how happy we are to have an executive director. Just kidding. All right. So some announcements. Tashlich. Tomorrow afternoon, tashlich means to cast or to throw, symbolically casting away sins and wrongdoings from the past year. At CBI, we prefer that you use bird seed instead of bread. It protects the local wildlife. And we throw it into a flowing body of water. There are 3 locations for your convenience. There is the grotto in the back near the playground of Temple Beth Israel. There is the area below Barton Springs Pool. And there is Champion Park in Cedar Park. So north, midtown, or south, come please and join us for Tashlich. And there's info on the temple website. It is a longstanding custom to have a cemetery service on the Sunday between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. It's called Kever Avot, which means the resting places of our ancestors. You have 2 options this year: Capitol Memorial Park in Pflugerville or Eloise Woods, which is in Cedar Creek. You see the address there. You need not have a friend or loved one actually interred at that cemetery. It's just a chance to come, say some brief prayers, and remember our loved ones together. This brings us to Adon Olam.
It does, Rabbi.
It does indeed.
It does. I haven't heard y'all sing this in 3 years, so it's going to be good.
Make it count.
Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Lehitzrasav Echefso Kol L'zai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'achavei Kichot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Ve'hu Haya Ve'hu
Good Yontif, everybody. Shana Tova. There we go.
One more thing.
One more thing.
One more thing. One more thing.
Page 98. Page 98. Our God and God of all generations before us, may it be your will in the coming year to grant us, let's read together, a year of abundance and atonement, a year of blessings bestowed and received, a year of community and compassion, a year of delight and exaltation, a year of enlightenment, a year of friendship and forgiveness, a year of going up in gladness to the land of Israel, a year of health and healing and humor, a year of inner strength and well-being, a year of joy and Jewish celebration, a year of knowledge and learning for its own sake, a year of love between parents and children, friends and spouses, brothers and sisters, a year of mitzvot and moments of sweetness, a year of nature protected and enjoyed, a year of optimism and hope, a year of peace pursued with perseverance, a year of quiet tranquility, a year of rain in its season, a year of song and spiritual growth, a year of Torah study and tikkun olam, a year of understanding and unity, a year of vows fulfilled and violence overcome, a year of wisdom acquired and shared, a year of coexistence among the families of the earth, a year of young and old reaching out to one another, a year of Zion aglow with light for us and all the world. Our God and God of the generations before us, grant us a year of gratitude to you for the most profound of blessings, your gift of life, as together we say, L'shana tova tikatevu v'techatemu, may you be inscribed and sealed for a good year. Amen. Shana tova.
Shana Tova.